Hello and welcome to the preview of Astroneer by System Era Softworks, both published and developed by them. And Astroneer is a open world space survival game where you play as an astronaut. You can also play it single player and you can play it with friends through Steam. And it works actually quite surprisingly well for the multiplayer. I played this both single player and multiplayer myself. Can learn the basics alone and then jump in with a friend. But let's just jump into the game and see how it is. As you can see, it's been recently updated with the research update, so that changed how the research works in the game, which I'll explain and show a bit. But it is very much in early access currently, so there is still a lot of bugs, issues. It's being developed, and there's going to be updates coming up for it. So it is definitely a work in progress still. So let's just jump into a pod and start off on our Terran planet down below and see where we're going from there. So this pod is your initial entry to the planet. It's also how you can make new planets for yourself. So just land here and see what's happening. So it seems we are on this kinda flat, almost like a snowy looking thing area here with a lot of rocks. So there's some new features on it. Let's learn about those. So there's a research catalog. You can do open your backpack and all of that, and then it's some research platforms, soil extraction, and etc. etc. And I'll explain them. So you play as this small little guy, the astronaut, and you can just jump around. Kind of cute looking dude. You can wave his hand at you or point at you and dance. And you have a terrain tool, which is the E here. So using E, you pull out and get your gun or this terrain tool. There's actually no weapons in the game, or really no enemies as well. A couple of angry plants currently. And this allows you to basically shape the terrain as you wish. So if you want to make a massive hole, you can do that. You can also use different tools when you have a canister. So here it tells me canister needed. You can flatten the terrain with this tool, and then you can also raise the terrain by holding Alt. So you can dig, you can raise, and you can flatten terrain with this tool. You also have a backpack here. Also, let's go back to the pod because I'm gonna run out of oxygen otherwise. And it's easier to explain if you're not suffocating. So you can see there's this blue bar that comes from the pod, which actually gives me air, which is the top bar in here that gives you, so shows your air. Then in the middle you have a power, and then you have slots where you can store items. You can also store items in your weapon or in your multi-tool, and then there's a building in here. And research also is found in here, so you can research all kinds of things. You need bytes, which you get from running a research building if you put an item in there to be researched. And there's all kinds of upgrades you can get. New buildings, vehicles, space shuttles, and all kinds of upgrades for the multi-tool, etc. that you can get. But let's get some resin for starters. So you can see these kind of pasta noodle looking things here on the ground. These are called resin. So you just dig around to get some of these into your multi-tool here. And you can see in the multi-tool you start collecting like a bit of things, and when you get enough in there, it forms into a proper resin, which goes into your backpack here. And you can pull out these, you can drop them out, you can put them in your gun as well in here, and put them back there, which is actually really cool mechanic. And pretty much everything works like that in this game. So you can just move these things between buildings. You can also move parts like different parts for a car around like that. You also need to get a compound there, but I'm also running out of air again, so let's get back in here. With resin, as I said, this is your start of the base. You can extend and build more parts for your base. So we can click on this, and it pulls out this power line, and we can use resin, and it makes us a new connection. A thing to note is that you can pull more of these like this, and then if you put 2 more resin in here, like it tells us to do, it makes this platform into a bigger platform, where you can now do a research chamber or other buildings if you have those, like the smelter. But you can't expand your base here. You can connect things into here, but you can't expand your base from there. So you always kind of should leave at least one expandable spot here before you basically wall yourself in this current system. So if I would make this and this and then that basically into one of these platforms, I would be kind of stuck in there, and there's no way currently really to remove that. So be careful with that, especially early on. Let's get some of that compound as well, which is another basic material you need for building. There's a bunch of different materials in this game. Compound and resin being the basic ones. Then there's laterite, malachite, and many other ones. There's also, if you hover in, I made myself a hole there, it seems. If you hover in some of these plants here, you can also get organic material, which is used for fuel mainly. Let's see if we can get one together before I forget. There we go. So we got one organic now in our backpack as well. There's some actually oxygen down here, so we can find oxygen and also power as these cubes on the ground. So now we have a full backpack, so we don't need to go get air yet. I saw some more resin, I think this way somewhere. There's some resin over there. Let's go quickly grab. You can run with shift held down. So I'll just rapidly rush in here. There we go. Grab those. Your inventory space is fairly limited, so early on you have to do quite a lot of running back and forth to get things you need. See a spaceship part there, which would be quite handy. They have some materials always in them. So back to the base we go. Get some air. And I guess we want the research chamber here, so you can choose which building you build from here. Research needs 2 compounds, which we did get, so we'll just put them there, and we press this button. And we can put the gun away. Well, there we go. Now we have a research building, which needs something to research, so we need to get that. They also tell us to print a small generator, so here is your options so that you can build. We can only build a small generator currently. Compound goes in there. It actually puts a compound automatically from your inventory, so if you switch this to like something that requires resin, this resin would automatically switch here and this compound would go out, which is really handy. And press the button in the middle. It uses a bit of power, and there you go. Now we have a generator, which actually popped into the slot there. You can also put it here. You can move the same thing there to give power to the base, etc. But I'm gonna put it there, and I'm gonna put that organic we grabbed in there. So now it's producing power in there. You can see my power bar filling thanks to that. And you can see the power actually coming through the line there. So blue is oxygen, which is constantly coming into me. And then power as well. And we need to unlock a canister. So it's telling me to go to the catalog here and find the canister, which we have 70 bytes, and we can build a can. So we'll just press this button. And now we have researched the canister. And I guess next we want to build a canister with resin, which automatically went from my inventory there. So you can see if I grab this, it automatically drops the other one in there. Just keeps juggling them. And canisters allow you to suck in dirt. So you can, without the canister, you can already just hover around like this. But you kind of waste the material, the dirt. But if you have a canister, I'm going to actually put it in my tool here. So if you have a canister here, it fills with dirt, which can be used for later reasons. They also want me to unlock tethers next, which we should do very much. So now that I have the canister, if I use my tool here, you can see around the like the mouse thing, you can see that circle. There's the blue bar there, so you can see that that's my current space in my canisters. So as I dig around, that blue bar gets more and more filled in there as my canisters fill. So you can really quickly see how that works just from your multi-tool. So I love the point of this game that there is no like UI. If you put it out, you just have your guy and your mouse, and that's your UI. All of the UI in the game is that. And then you can just open up these, and you can see your air and your power. Everything is kind of just on your character, without any extra stuff. Okay, so I've made a quite a veritable hole there. It's telling me to add or flatten terrain. So now we're gonna use a control to actually just flatten this terrain. So we start like from this elevation, press control, and then we can just use flatten, and it just flattens the terrain. You need a canister because you need material, the dirt, to do this actually. But this is only the one use for the dirt. You can also print materials with the dirt. So there we plug that hole, and you're gonna hold Alt, and then you can make a mountain for yourself if you want, or you can make a house, or an arch, or whatever. Buildings. All right. So that's the very basics of the game, and we need a bit of a compound. So let's go find that compound wherever I saw it. Did I already grab it all, or should we find some more? That's the noodles. Let's just see around if there's more. Look at that fancy panel there. So there's some random things on the map like this. Just crashed spaceships and everything. There's also caves around, so there's probably a massive cave system somewhere around me or under me. My air is gonna get low. So if you get low on air, you suffocate and you die, and all your possessions drop on the ground, and then your next Astroneer lands to your last, I think, save point, which should be the base for us. But we should be okay just running back. It's gonna be a bit rough on the air, but a bit of suffocation has never killed anyone, right? So here we go. Jump. Suffocating. It's fine, it's fine. We're almost there. Okay. There we go. So we got home. And now that we have a bunch of this compound, we can print tethers, which will allow the proper exploration expansion for us early on. Later on, you're gonna get stuff like air tanks, which expand your air, so you don't run out of the air all the damn time. And I want the power again. Let's put that resin in there. And I want to build a smelter here. I don't have the compounds yet, but that's okay. So now that I have tethers, it's telling me to place a tether. So we can drop tethers, and they are like these poles that extend the power and the air line. And this will allow me to go around in the world here, just dropping tethers, almost like dropping torches in Minecraft, to kind of see where you've been and also to just get air and everything. So this will allow me now a much further exploration from my starting point, now that I can drop these tethers everywhere, and I get constantly air. And I can run away from the tether line and then come back to that tether line, instead of just having to run all the way back to my base. And this is immediately opening up the world view a lot more than just having to run constantly back and forth with and you can then get some more of this. I do need some kind of power generation, so my power production is kind of horrible at the moment, which means I should probably get some plants and get some organic going in my base, so I get some power. And I should almost make a small generator on myself, so I can feed power until I get like solar panels and things like that built. And later on, the next step from this exploration is pretty much vehicles. So you can print like a medium rovers and then large rovers, and then even further from that you can do shuttles, which allows you to expand to different planets. So there's multiple planets in here. You can actually see the planets going around in the sky. So this planet where you start is the Terran planet. Around it goes the barren planet, which is basically Moon. And then you have a arid planet, which is kind of Mars. Then there's this exotic planet, which is kind of funky exotic one. And then you have a radiated planet. That's a bit of a horrible hellhole of a planet. Alright, let's drop this for the smelter. And then grab the this for the power up there, and now we're getting power again. And once I'm full, it should start filling this smelter with power, so you can see the power now connecting through the lines, and my smelter is getting filled with power. Awesome. Let's store a couple of these compounds here, so we don't need those. So we should probably find a research object next, because we need bytes which come from the research to pretty much get anything. And we should get like small solars or small wind turbines as soon as possible. So we need a research object. So let's see, where do we go? Good easy ones early on are in the early parts of the caves, or just like in a vegetation like tree line. We could also try if there's any research object in the crash sites. They can contain really high research point value items, which is really nice. So we should use this tether line to go see. I think this one only has some resources inside, so you just check the middle here for some early easy free materials. Just empty it a bit. Maybe there's nothing in there. Maybe it's a empty one. No, there is. So you can see there is actually here this bunch of material. So we found a piece of copper, aluminium, some of the free organic. There's titanium, lithium, and some more very nice and valuable stuff in there. And I'm stuck, and I'm running out of air. So let's build a bit of a ramp. So if you get stuck, you can always use your tool to kind of level the terrain, or build yourself a thing. Maybe there's a research in here. Let's go see. Let's see. Just drop the tether line there. This planet is a bit different than I'm used to. It doesn't have that much vegetation around it. Looks like these don't have anything. Also, not a lot of caves that I see, which is interesting. Oh well. Let's go out, just run around for a second. It's not like we're gonna die. We'll just run back to the tether line. Vehicles and the shuttle extend your... or they work the same way as the base. So they are like a source of air. They produce infinite constant air, which allows you to use them. Oh, I might actually not be fine. As your air source, so you can just move the vehicle around, get some air from there, drive around, hop around, see what's near you. Especially when you have those air tanks, it becomes a lot easier to manage your air. This early no air tanks is it's very rough, and you need your tether lines. But it's a great way to do the progression in this game. How you start, especially. The game is very much early access, so there's not that much to play. I did on my live stream about 3 days of this with a friend. First day I did it on my own, and then two of the other days were with a friend. So that's still like 20 hours of gameplay that we managed to get from the game. We went through all the research, and we visited all the planets, and we built up bases here and there and checked around things. Ah, there we go. This looks like a cave. I see there. So that is the... I mean, it's not totally void of content, but it could still use a lot of content. There is also a lot of bugs currently in the game still, or a decent amount of bugs that may frustrate you, especially like multiplayer related ones. We had things vanish on us and all kinds of funkiness. There's some laterite, so this is aluminium, which I need to refine. Let's see some strange plants. Trying to find if I can get this connected. No. But even though there is bugs and the game is very much still in early access, there is still constant progress on the game. by the developers, which is really great to see. They run a blog and everything, the detail of their progress quite a lot, which is nice. Nice to see very open development in that sense. You may have seen that kind of red dot there. I took a bit of damage, and I'm trying to avoid those things. So these are kind of these plants that buff out this green gas thing, which does damage on you, and you just need to kind of dig out to kill the plants. There's also these like a cactus-looking things that I killed there earlier, which is the one that actually damaged me, because they kind of explode as they die. Aha, here we go. So under here is one researching. There's also free air, which I'm gonna grab from here. And there's also some power there, which I should also take. So near plants there is always this yellow power, and I can use this to power my base early on. So I'm gonna grab maybe a couple of that if I can. Oops, something is trying to kill me still. Let's just go home before I actually do get killed. Air is getting low and all of that as well. And these cave systems can be very massive and expansive. As you can see, it just keeps going down there, and probably goes even more somewhere deep down in there. And you find all kinds of materials in the caves. Also, depending on the planet, you pretty much can find any material in any planet, except maybe the first planet doesn't have a titanium and some of the other materials. But later on, you do find pretty much all materials on all planets. But like your early easy resin and compound might be much more rarer on a different planet when they might have just titanium like on the surface. So it kind of jumbles the rarity of materials depending on the planets. And I'm sure in the future version of the game we kind of found kind of unfinished couple of materials while we were going around hematite and what was the other one? I don't remember the other one. But we found a couple like these already in the game, not usable for anything materials that were only findable in certain planets. In the Irradiated there was one, and then in the Exotic there was the hematite, I think it was. So there is already kind of system for that, and I'm sure in the future versions of the game there's going to be even more of that. So we got this strange spiky ball of research, and I need to bring it here in the research center, and there's a button here that shows me that it's 1,000 bytes. With my current power, it's gonna take 28 hours to research this, which might not be great, because we don't actually have any power. So if I put some power in the organic there, let's see how this changed now. 16 minutes. Which already is pretty decent, but also took these power nodes, which can stick here. So now it's 8 minutes. And it's researching. You can also build multiple research buildings, and it's often a very good idea if you don't want to wait for a long time. Just mass gather research objects, punch them all in there, and then you have a fast research, and you can go through the research fairly quickly, especially once you get like a large car and you chain a couple cars together to make like a train, and just go fill it with material, bring it home, and then just crazy research. So we brought the laterite into here, and we can now smelt it into materials, which will give us aluminium, which is formed here, and it's gonna drop down there, or not. There, we have aluminium, and we have second aluminium, which we found. You can also stick these in here, and put these here, I guess. Storage. You get better storage later on. So that's very, very, like, the basic game. Let me hop out and show you our longer progress of a game. So I can show you a bit more of the cars, the shuttles, and everything that's later in the game. But in general, I can kind of recommend the Astroneer already. Although it's definitely with the idea that it is kind of light on the content. It is a really nice game to play already, as you can kind of see. But as you can see, also there's bugs, and even the developers are asking for those. So let's see, which one of these are we doing? This one, I think. We'll see. We'll see if this is the right one. So it is very much still in early access. So there's bugs. There is a kind of funkiness here and there. It is light on some content and could use a lot more. But it's already very nice. Oh, this is not. This is definitely not the correct one. So let's try the other one. But it has a very good system with the inventory system, the plopping down modules into your multi-tool, plopping in things into your inventory, plopping them into buildings, plopping them into storage, plopping them into your vehicles. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that system expands into the future. One of the things they were discussing expanding possibly even in the next update is the whole base building system, which is kind of okay, but kind of funky currently, and it could be better, and I would happily see it made even better. Okay, so here we are here in Icy Planet, and this save is getting kind of laggy because we have done all kinds of things. I'm gonna quickly actually just kill myself here, so you can see what happens when you die. These are oxygen tanks. I'm just gonna throw them into the forest there, and also my everything else. We'll keep the lamp. So I have a lamp on my thing here, and here I have 3 canisters of soil in my thing. Let me research everything. This is our small car. So you can just tab into the car. You always get saved when you tab into the car, or if you go into the space shuttle or anything, and you can drive around this, around the system here. I think we were kind of low on power. It seems that we're fine now. So this is our car, but I'm gonna get out of this, and I'm gonna get into a better car and everything. And as I said, you can plop things into your car or vehicles as well. So we have a solar panel there. Just get it out. These are the power things we plopped into the other building earlier. We can grab them out, and same here. It's really convenient in your base when you fill your car with materials. You're gonna go around and mine things, and you fill your car with things, and then into the storage pallets, and then you just move them into your base and switch empty ones in there. But let's kill myself quickly here. We'll run wild into the sunset, away from the car, and just suffocate. Let's see if we can actually jump off a mountain. This planet we are currently on is the Tundra planet, so it's this kind of icy planet with a lot of wind and everything. Planets don't really differ much, other than there's a different kind of terrain and different land formations, and how the materials are placed currently. There's no like temperature differences or anything. This planet is as cold or not cold as any other planet. The moon, moon gravity affects in the moon a bit differently. So you do jump kind of how you expect in the moon, at least a bit more, and all that. There's some more of the other planets. And our poor Astroneer is suffocating in here. The reason why I'm suffocating is that I don't actually know where our base is currently. This actually might take me back to the base, or it might take me back to the car. We'll see. So as you suffocate, this rate gets worse and worse, and then the poor little guy dies there. And then you get thrown into a new pod, which falls from the sky. And you have to find your backpack and all your loot. Which planet are we going? Here. Okay, this takes me back to the lander. So this is our lander here that we used to land. This is the big shuttle with some fuel in there still left over. It has same slots you can stick things, a large storage we built on it. Which actually, the thing only comes with this like bottom part, then you can build things on top of that. So we had a three crew pod and then a large storage there. Here's our Icy Planet base, which has like a vehicle building modules and power storage, all kinds of fancy crafting things and everything. And this is why I like the storage system in this game. So this is a medium storage here, and you can just plop this off. It kind of closes this way. You can put it on your car, your spaceship, wherever, and then move it around, and it opens up like that again. And it's a really convenient way to just grab materials from like a smeltery here or the printer here that prints materials from dirt, and just move them to the crafting stations and everything. There's also a trade station that's in the back there, so you can trade materials to different materials. Some wind turbines running there, some solar as you saw on the car as well, and everything. But let's get to the shuttle. We should have hopefully enough juice to get into space with this. So I'll just hop here, and let's see. We have a bit of fuel. Go to space on our space vehicle, away from the laggy planet of iciness. Even the game is kind of freezing in there, it seems. But that might be just because we have so many different bases already around different planets. So as you are on the orbit of a planet, you can see these bubbles, which are landing spots. Like here is our base, you can see it there, so we can land there if we need to. Probably would show our car somewhere in there as well, if I just keep waiting enough. But we want into interstellar space here. So now we are in the interstellar space here. We're gonna scroll back and see different planets. So there's the X-League planet. Sorry, this is Terran. There's the moon, the arid, the radiated, and then there's the X-League planet. And they're going around the sun in a circle. Same circle you can actually see in the sky. So it's kind of fun. You're gonna see the planets as they are and moving around. And sometimes even you can see your other base on the planet, which is kind of funny. So let's see if we're gonna actually jump somewhere. We'll want to go to the irradiated planet, I think, if it gets into range. That's where we build our main base, because of course, why not build your base in a horrible radiated planet next to the sun? It actually has a lot of sunlight, so that's really good for power generation. It seems we might not be able to catch up to that. Oh well, that's fine. That's basically Astroneers. So it's an early access open world space survival game. I can recommend it, even though it's light in the content. So you might want to wait as it updates over the time. It has very good base systems. So as long as it seems some love and care, it's gonna turn out into a really damn good game. It's been a bit slow on the progress so far, but the developers had a bit of real life troubles, which I'm not gonna go into deeper, but it is understandable why their progress has been a bit slow, and hopefully it'll pick up the pace. The new research update that released in December was already a really great addition to the game. It revamped all the research and added a few things in there here and there, like the canisters and the dirt and printing things. And so they're definitely working on the game. They're definitely adding and trying to make it better. But it is still very much alpha early access game. So with that warning, may consider waiting a bit longer. But then keep an eye on it and get it at some point, hopefully, maybe. But anyways, that's my quick preview of the Astroneer, and if you like this very long preview, thank you for that. Check out the other Let's Plays, reviews, previews, everything on the YouTube channel, and check out the live stream on nair.tv or twitch.tv/pelanar, where I play this kind of games, other building strategy management games every day, and also some other stuff every now and then as well. But anyways, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. So bye bye.